Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to Sunday. It's so good to see so many folks popping in the room. Happy Sunday. Happy last day of our first week of New Year, New Friends here in the Daily Antidote of Song. We've met new folks all week long, and we're going to have a whole second week of New Year, New Friends next week because there's so many new singers, songwriters, song leaders that we're coming to find who are just so fittingly perfect for our Daily Antidote of Song family, including our guests for today, Magpie, Greg, and Terry, who are like just so clearly matched for who we are. And I can't wait to sing and talk with them. Before we start, I want to say hi to everybody out there on Facebook Live. Thanks for joining us. We are the Daily Antidote of Song, one song every day at noon Eastern, right here at something like 640 some odd days right now, and continuing on as we go on, and we're glad you've joined. Hello, and thank you to Jaden for coming in from Maryland and running the tech for us today. Thank you, Jaden. And of course, hello to Greg and Terry coming in from New York and our song leaders for the day. Hi, Mabel in Massachusetts with cinnamon bears almost in posture, but not quite. Hello to Brian. There's a bear. There's a mouse. I see them coming. Hi to Brian in Maryland. Nice to see you. Annette in California. Hello. Hi, Suzanne. Nice to have you with us today. And Simke in Maryland. Hello. Nice to see you again. Hi to Max. Lovely to have you today. I think New Hampshire. Is that right? Yeah, okay. Nice to see you. And Deborah in Kentucky, hello. Hello to Willard, the curly top, coming in from Vermont without his usual crew, but who knows, they might be in another box. Hi, Willard. Hello to Arlene and a manatee friend, an anteater friend. Good grief, the stuffed animals that come out in this room. Whoever knew they made stuffed anteaters. I love it. Hi, Arlene, coming in from Berkeley. Great to see you. Hello, Busy Graham, Carpe Diem Arts. Glad to have you with us today, and thank you so much for being the force behind this great Daily Antidote of Song. Hi, Susan in Ohio. Lovely to see your smile. Hi, Shari, also in New Hampshire. Nice to see you. Hi, Kathy in Virginia. Great to see your smile, too. Carolyn in Idaho. Hello. Sarah in Texas. Oh, Carolyn in Idaho has I don't know what that is, a cow dressed up in no goat, no sheep, no bear. Oh, dear. It's beautiful, and I love it. And Sarah in Texas, hello. Kevin in New Hampshire. Hi, Storm in Massachusetts. Great to see you. And Kathleen in Albuquerque, hello. And I think I might have just missed somebody. Nope, got it. Okay, Kathleen in Albuquerque, great to see you. Trish in Victoria, hello. Hello, Beverly. I'm not sure if you're new to us today. Welcome to the Daily Antidote of Song. You've been here. Welcome back to the Daily Antidote of Song. Hi, Dan in Virginia, and Pete and Janet in Toronto, hello. Bonnie in Idaho, hello. Hi, Sheila in Florida with a beautiful monarch butterfly. I love it. Absolutely gorgeous. Caroline and a winter elf coming in from D.C. Nice to see you. Christiana in Maryland, hello. Susan in Seattle, great to see your smile this morning. Elise Witt is in the house. I always love when Elise Witt is in the house. Coming in from Atlanta, Elise is one of our regular hosts and song leaders, and super glad to have you here. Amanda and Miles in Michigan, hello. I see without Alex. Everybody's missing Alex now because maybe back to school or who knows. Lynn and Cliff, hello. Coming in from Vermont, glad to see you guys, or at least the Cliff half right now. Julie in Ontario, hello. Nice to see you over there. And Jane coming in from either Pennsylvania or England, depending on the universe, but nice to see you with a stuffed something or other, I can't tell. Hi, Luda and Mark with hearts. Thank you so much for bringing us your beautiful hearts and your beautiful selves. Anne in Nashville with a penguin. I swear, the penguin has a hat on. You guys are unbelievable, really, seriously. Steve and Michelle in Maryland, great to see you guys. And Sandy in New York, nice to see you today. And Johnny, one of our song leaders in the room, just sang with us this week in New Friends Week, and always great to see your face. Thanks for joining so regularly. Coming in from LA or Oakland, California in any case. Ralph and Penny in Victoria, hello. Kathy in upstate New York, we're so glad to have you back. We've missed you. And everybody, pause for 1 second while I take a breath. Okay, sorry. Hello to Susan in Tacoma Park, Maryland. Nice to see you. Maybe already know Magpie from their Tacoma Park days. Hello to Ruth in Birmingham, England. We're glad you're with us again today. And Anne in Maryland. Hello, Joni. Nice to have you here. Kate in Charlottesville. Hello, and hope you're feeling great today. Hi to Cricket, coming in from Maryland. Nancy in Washington State, hiding behind her Irish cow. Fred in Maryland, hello. Deli in Maryland, hello. Martha in Oregon, hello. Phil in Totnes, England, hello. And thank you for lovely hosting yesterday. And your fabulous I.O. was amazing. Barry in Silver Spring, Maryland. We're so glad you're here. We've missed you a bunch. Barry is actually the force behind that painting, actually, that you may be able to see over my head over here, of a Daily Antidote screen starring me. Carol in Connecticut, hello. Shelley, hello. Nice to have you with us today. Jamie in Victoria. Kathleen may be new to us today. I'm not sure. Nice to see you, Kathleen. Thanks for joining. And Don in Vermont, there's another curly top, but he's hiding the curls with hat or beret. Hello, Aloysius. Nice to have you from Western Mass. Bronwyn in Victoria. Linda, hello. And Gary in Mass, hello. And folks off video today, so it's Naomi and Beverly, Nancy, another Nancy, two Nancys, Amos and Lynn in Connecticut, Robert, Isabel, Deborah, Jerry, Student Koo, and Joni and Miriam. And now let's take another deep breath, please. And maybe Beverly, who I missed, and maybe Linda, who I missed, and someone who just came in, Jane and Leanna. And it's a beautiful day of 76 of us in this room ready to sing together. And holy cow, is it amazing to be here with all of you. Happy Sunday, happy Magpie Day. We are so excited to finally have Greg and Terry in the room with us. And I'm going to turn it over to Greg and Terry and say welcome. And we're so excited to sing with you. And do you feel like queuing up your first song?
Sure.
And we sent you the lyrics, so make sure they're in the chat or wherever people can see them. But this is a song that was written by a dear friend of ours named Carl Williams from Philadelphia. And
he wasn't always from Philadelphia.
No, but when he moved to Philadelphia...
That's when he wrote the song.
Right. He wrote the song we're about to sing for you because he felt like it was such a welcoming place, which, you know, a lot of cities that size don't normally feel that way necessarily. So he was just so taken by how everybody was so open and kind to him that he wrote this song, which you all can help us sing, called Pleasure to Know You.
We'll sing the chorus a couple of times at the top.
Right. Okay. Sounds good. It's a pleasure to know you, a pleasure to see you smile, a comfort to know we'll share the road a while. Pleasure is fleeting and comforts are far between, and it's a pleasure to know you and the comfort you bring.
Sing it again.
It's a pleasure to know you, a pleasure to see you smile, a comfort to know we'll share the road a while. Pleasure is fleeting and comforts are far between. It's a pleasure to know you and the comfort you bring. I came to your city after I'd left my home, and I was a stranger, dressed up in strangers' clothes, the favors I needed, but charity you and me, rare as the beauty in the face of a drum.
Shall we sing that verse again?
Let's do that again. Here we go.
Yeah.
I came to your city after I'd left my home, and I was a stranger, dressed up in strangers' clothes, the favors I needed, but charity's out of style and rare as the beauty in the face of a trusting child. And it's a pleasure to know you, a pleasure to see you smile, a comfort to know we'll share the road a while. Pleasure is fleeting and comforts are far between. It's a pleasure to know you and the comfort you bring. They say life's a journey a highway from birth to death, mapped in despair, and traveled in hopelessness. Well, they may believe it, but just between you and me, the trick to the traveling is all in the company, and it's a pleasure to know you, a pleasure to see you smile, a comfort to know we'll share the road a while. Pleasure is fleeting, and comforts are far between, and it's a pleasure to know you and the comfort you bring. Lovers may leave you, lovers may turn away, others may scorn you. You know that they will someday. The seasons are fickle, and fate is not known as kind, but friendship's a diamond, and trouble's the diamond mine, and it's a pleasure to know you, a pleasure to see you smile, a comfort to know we'll share the road a while. Pleasure is fleeting, and comforts are far between, and it's a pleasure to know you and the comfort you bring, and it's a pleasure to know you and the comfort you bring.
Woo! Thank you so much, Greg and Terry. That was completely amazing. And I want to send this out, if you aren't already going to do this, to Busy Graham, who requested that fabulous song. And what a perfect song for the Daily Antidote.
Yeah, we forgot to mention that Busy requested that. It's a song we've been singing for a long time, but we keep changing how we do it. I first played it on the dulcimer, but Greg convinced me, let's do it as a two guitar piece. Okay.
Lovely. I absolutely love it. And it's so perfect for the Daily Antidote, where it's just a pleasure to know all of these people whom, of course, we only know, or most of us know each other only in this context, or in the various contexts we're finding each other in other places, other people's sing-alongs, other people's concerts, other people's activism projects, but met in here, most of us, and have most of us not actually ever met in person. So it's a pleasure to know all of you, and it's a pleasure to know both Greg and Terry. After 40 some odd years of magpieing, what's the number actually?
48.
We're in our 48th.
2023 will be our 50th anniversary, if we make it that far.
What? That's amazing. I see a party coming. Party in the Daily Antidote.
We'll be having our 49th anniversary in September, and then next year, in 2023,
In September.
the 50th, our 50th anniversary. If we make it that far.
That's beautiful. I love it. I love it. So, all right. I definitely have questions for you guys. Can we talk a little bit about one of the things we were talking about before we opened doors today, which is your relationship between your music and your activism?
Well, it's always been an extremely important element of what we do. And as a survivor of Kent and Jackson State, I particularly feel the urgency, all the time, really. And Greg has also always been an active person, both of us in the civil rights movement. His dad worked for the Urban League, and my family was from Arkansas and Mississippi, and I went to see King March when I was about 13. And so, activism, and we grew up in the Rust Belt. in Ohio. And those of you from Ohio know what I mean when I say the Rust Belt. My family was in rubber, Greg's was in steel, and so labor issues are huge to us as well.
Well, it's always been there for us. I think that like many singers and guitar players and folkies who came up in the 50s and 60s, the political activism was always married to music and vice versa. It was, the civil rights movement was totally inspirational, and of course it happened to come along at the same time that folk music, that is, sort of homemade music and music that was rooted in tradition, had become popular music, top 40 music in the early 60s, with the likes of Peter, Paul, and Mary singing songs like Blowin' in the Wind. I mean, that was kind of unprecedented in a sense, and it was really, really inspirational. So right back to our youth and our childhood, there was always that marriage of activism with music, political action with music, and particularly the civil rights movement. But
also the environment.
We found it to be in places where you wouldn't necessarily have expected it to be.
Yeah, I just want to say that we grew up where the lake caught fire.
The river
caught fire.
River.
And the sky you could not even see the sky. Now you can. It was so dark and black, and imagine what we were all breathing in. So all those issues have been with us since the day we were born. So we feel it's our responsibility to do something.
And one more thing, part of the reason I think that we moved to Washington, D.C. in 1974, and we lived in the D.C. area for 34 years or something until we
moved up here.
We changed residence, but we still come down to D.C. all the time until the pandemic stopped us cold. But living in Washington, D.C. was the perfect place to be if you wanted to lend your musical voice to political action. And I can't tell you how many times we've demonstrated in the streets of Washington, D.C., singing songs or standing up on a stage at Lafayette Square or
Park,
or in front of the Pentagon, or it was the place to be, the place to get out there and actually raise your voice. And once you get started doing that, you just don't let go.
Thank you, guys. That's beautiful. So we've said a lot of times in this room the John Lewis quote that I'll probably botch, but something like a movement without music is like a bird without wings, like that idea that the two things just do go hand in hand, and that part of what strengthens marches, for example, is the music that everyone is singing at the top of their lungs. And so you were talking earlier about some of your more recent, sort of your pandemic activism projects. Can you chat a little bit about that?
Well, in 2020, we were lucky to be a part of a international poetry vaccination.
It was.
What was it called?
I think they called it the Vaccine Poetry Project or something to that effect.
Right.
And it was poets from all around the world.
And we were the music.
Working in the English language, that is, but literally from around the world, who joined a meeting like this Zoom meeting, but on StreamYard with Andy Revkin, who is a journalist in the Hudson Valley, and our good friend David Hassler, who teaches poetry at the Wick Poetry Center at Kent State University in Kent, Ohio. And the two of them organized the whole thing, and then Terry and I were asked to come in and do the music, of course, focusing on the pandemic, but focusing on for us, the purpose of our performance there was to focus on the very thing we're doing here today, the songs that are uplifting, the songs that can be inspirational and sort of encourage you to get involved in get your vaccine if you could. This was in the early days of vaccination last year,
right? And we've continued to do those kind of things. We were lucky enough to be a part of a wonderful presentation of Our Town by Thornton Wilder. Which was done for the Ohio Legal
Aid Society.
And they're the people that were keeping people off the streets from being evicted and helping them have not become homeless.
They had a lot of work. Had a lot of work during the pandemic.
And it was a theater production, and we were the music. We, played while the actors got on stage, played when they left, played an intermission, played an opening, and we were able to raise over $80,000. So, don't think that you can't do anything. sitting in your chair.
Just a couple more little things. One was that we were able to participate in a nationwide conversation sponsored by the Community Church of Boston, trying to shut down the Enbridge 3 pipeline. There we were on the Zoom meeting with
the likes of Winona
LaDuke and a number of other frontline activists in that struggle.
People whose names you don't know, but you're really glad to meet them.
Singing songs about protecting Mother Earth. And then the other thing, we actually did a in-person songwriting residency with an environmental school out in Maryland, outside of Frederick, Maryland, called the Lucy School, which is of course run by a very, very dear longtime friend of ours named Vicki Brown and her husband. And we in one day we wrote a song, a beautiful song about monarch butterflies,
right, with K through 8th grade, the whole school,
as an endangered species. And then the next day we did a big open air performance of the song where everybody came.
Well, for the Sierra Club and for the school. Sierra Club was and it was a rainy day, so we did it in a big barn with all the windows and doors open.
So we've done a few things. We've kept ourselves busy. In between times, we're still doing teaching online.
Teacher training,
professional development for teachers using music in education. And that's kept us really, really busy.
And concerts.
We spend a lot of time right here in this setting, talking to people. So.
That's so great. And we've all gotten to know our living rooms or dining rooms or whatever room we project out of better than we had in all of the previous years of, right? I mean, that's one of the things a lot of performers said is like they actually had never spent that kind of time in their home, even unlike people, who might more or less work in the same area where they live. Performers are always on the road. And so what an opportunity to get to live in a different way than we had before, always looking for the silver lining of everything. So Susan G actually put in the chat that song should be a public service announcement, which I really love. And Spice put in, we are edutainers. We are active tainers, like Io said yesterday, which is awesome. And I thought it was also great that you just mentioned monarch butterflies, because one of our folks in the room today, Sheila in Florida, is showing a stuffed monarch butterfly today. So it's like all those amazing, lovely ties that always seem to happen here in the Daily. So let's see, we've got your website and your Facebook and all that stuff in the chat, letting people know about how to find you. And is that also how they'll find whatever it is you're doing next?
Probably. Now, it's been a little delayed because of the pandemic. So we haven't really put up January's calendar yet. We're still in the midst of negotiations with lots of folks about what we're doing. But you guys are the first thing we've done in the new year. So, hey, carpe diem.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad you guys have finally joined us here. It's been way, way, way too long of 600 and some odd days without singing with you. And now I hope this will be just the start of something more regular. And also hope you guys will join us and host sometimes. You guys are fabulous hosts. And we have lots of guest artists hosting us. And you guys would be a great fit for that too. And I also, let's see. There was one other thing. Oh, I know. I was going to say that unlike our usual shtick where we sing the same song beginning and end, Greg and Terry had two most perfect songs for the Daily Antidote of Song. So actually, they're going to bring us a second song. And Greg and Terry, would you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. This one is...
I just want to say hi to Spice. Spice, I saw you there for a few minutes.
Oh, Spice is out there?
Spice is there.
Hi, Spice.
Yeah, so, there are so many of us. There's a lot of people that we don't know that are here today. So thank you for coming and listening and being part of this. This next song, I'm sorry, I probably interrupted you.
No, it's okay. It's okay, really. I mean, it's the Greg and Terry show. This is what we do.
Go ahead. You want to do it?
The song was written by our old friend Cy Khan. Okay, and Cy Khan he's probably the most prolific songwriter that I know personally. And
he also plays my old Guild guitar.
Yeah,
so we have visitation rights.
Yeah, our old friend Kathy Fink brokered the deal, and we sold Terry's D50 to Cy. He's been using it as his only guitar for all of these years. I don't know how many years now. Anyway, Cy is a great songwriter. He's not only prolific, but boy, he just gets it. He gets it way too much. I don't want to be living downstream, along the musical river with Cy. I'd much rather be upstream. I think Arlo Guthrie said something about that in relation
upstream.
to Bob Dylan. You don't want to be downstream of Bob, but that's the way I feel about Cy, because I think he just writes some of the best. So this is a great choral sing-along song. It's a call and response. We sing a line, you sing, where are we bound? And then we sing another line and you sing, here is my home. And then there is a chorus, come darkness, come light, where are we bound? Come morning, come night, here is my home.
So enjoy singing it with us. When we found this, we're always uncovering Cy's stuff because he's so prolific, and we were just touched by it. Good friends from whom we now must part, where are we bound? Your hands and voices lift my heart. Here is my home. Come darkness, come light. Where are we bound? Come morning, come night. Here is my home. For those who work in harmony, where are we bound? Can learn to live in unity. Here is my home. Come darkness, come light. Where are we bound? Come morning, come night. Here is my home. If we can join ourselves in song, where are we bound? Our hearts will live when we are gone. Here is my home. Come darkness, come light. Where are we bound? Come morning, come night. Here is my home. The spirit that finds music here, where are we bound? We'll sing forever in the air. Here is my home. Come darkness, come light. Where are we bound? Come morning, come night. Here is my home. Come darkness, come night. Where are we bound? Come morning, come night. Here is my home.
Oof. Thank you so much, Greg and Terry. That
Thank you.
absolutely gorgeous. What a perfect sentiment. Here we are, all of us in our homes and in our home here in the Daily Antidote of Song. And Greg and Terry, you feel like a brand new home, and so glad to have you with us today. And Cy Khan has been in this room with us a bunch of times, sharing his songs, and in fact has also already agreed to host in 2022. So we'll get to see more of Cy, and of course, hopefully more of Greg and Terry in this coming year. Let's all give it up for Greg and Terry, please. Thank you so much for joining us. For those of you who don't know, they live next door to Reggie. And did you have a secret message for us from Reggie?
Yes, Reggie said to say hi to all his friends that he's going to miss seeing this morning. He just he's recovering from a very long drive.
He just drove in from Michigan last night.
But he said, well, tell all my friends that I said hello today. So we promised we would. So hello and love from Reggie. And we want to thank you, Joe, so much for helping with all this, and Busy for being at the forefront of all the things that you do for all of us artists. So thank you so much.
And thank you, Jaden, for being there too.
Oh, yes, and Jaden, our tech person. Oh, my God. I'm sure I left somebody out, but whoever I did leave out, please know that we really deeply appreciate you.
Thank you again, Greg and Terry. Awesome to have you with us today. And we'll make sure that you didn't leave anybody out, because we're going to help buy everybody out of the room, starting with Facebook Live. Thanks so much, Facebook, for joining us today. Please find us here all next week with another New Year, New Friends week, where we will meet a whole bunch of new song leaders. And we hope you'll join us every day.